Hi guys, this is Nu-Trix the Synth Guy, and today we're talking about AudioKit software called Looper L7. It's a live looper app that can basically loop tracks and recording in real time. It is mostly aimed for performance. I think that originally looper were used by guitarists to layer more, like do the rhythm and loop that and then play on top of it and stuff like that. And gradually other people got to use them, and especially vocal artists or rappers and beatboxers. So they started to create sound with their mouth or other instrument that they would play with. LoopStation is probably the most known looper around from Boss, and this aims to do the same thing. Of course, it's not a hardware. It's a software, so these LoopStation have tons of controllers you can play and manipulate in real time on them. It means that for this to be as interesting for somebody who does performance is also to give them real-time control over it. And it actually can do real-time control over it if you have the right controller. So it's pretty interesting. If you like these, go ahead, go into the link and buy some clothing from Nu-Trix. It was released about not even a month ago, and since then they had a lot of updates, so they're just adding up new features to it. So they're really listening and they're really quick at it, so pretty cool. Example, what they just added is a track reverse. They added volume importing, because you actually can import. Actually, let's look into it. You'll see. I'm gonna open this. The way I connected it, I'm not using the audio of the iPad. This thing also runs on the iPhone, so you can just move around with your iPhone and record any sound you want and use it in the song if you want, or in a loop if you want. The way this is set up right now, I connected my USB adapter for the iPad, and it's connected into my sound card, which is a Rubix. If you go into audio input, you see that I'm connected to the Rubix. This is input device, so you decide where, instead of using the internal microphone, I'm using this. I will also use the internal microphone. I'll show you the differences in how you can do it. Basically, when you look at it, there's the bottom section, the play, the maximum length of the loop, but this can change even in the song. If you start making longer loop, it can actually support it. You can actually type your tempo here. Then the meter, so beat per measure. What do you want? At the top, you've got input effects, output effects, and voice tuning. Input effects, basically, these are effects you can apply right at the recording. It's going to be destructive. It's going to be part of the recording. So if you add this, I've got my vocal beat connected right into this. If I play it, okay, with this little thing playing. Okay, if I add reverb right away, I'm going to record that with it. Okay, it's going to be destructive. If I add tempo delay, okay, pitch, okay, this is real time, destructive, tremolo, come filtering, and filter. When you go I, it just becomes an I pass. When you go low, it becomes a low pass. More like a DJ filter. That's for the input in real time. Let's stop that. You have the output. Basically, the output is for what is already recorded. You do the same exact control we just had. You have pan also, left and right. You can pan stuff at the time. You have voice tuning. Voice tune is when you record, voice, but it's actually anything that is monophonic and chromatic, or mostly chromatic, I would say. You can go in and say what's the note and what's the scale. So you need to know that, and you need to sing in that scale so it sounds okay, and it's going to fix it. These are kind of the basic stuff. A, 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, and 32. These are the length of the recordings you want to do. So we say I'm going to record a 2, so it's going to take 2 measures at 100 BPM that I decided to have using the 4/4 measure. So that's going to be how it works. If you press A, it's going to be automatic. So if you finished after 4, it's going to stop after 4. If you finished after 8, it's going to stop after 8. So it's going to follow. And even if you recorded 2 the first time, let's say on the first track, second track, if you press A, it's still going to record past 2, which was the limit of the first one. So it's quite interesting. So let's go into audio input, and I'm going to start with just recording, playing that. So I type it 100 BPM. I have 100 BPM, and that's my. Okay, I'm going to record that. I'm going to the first one, just verify I'm loud enough. Stop, and I'm going to press 2 here. Oh, wait a sec. I'm going to stop that. Stop. What I'll do is I'm going to activate the metronome. So I'm going to press 2, you'll see that a countdown to 3. I'm going to start at the same time. So go. I have the 2 at the same time. I'm going to stop. I'm stopping the original machine. What I have is the loop right now. It's not exactly on time. The problem I have is probably, there's 2 things. Did I press at the right time? That's one thing. But also the delay it takes from taking from here, being recorded, back here. I can actually go into settings, and you have the buffer size here. So I'm going to say I'm going to put it at the minimum, 128 buffer size. Done. Okay. And I'm going to keep my finger on the track, and then you get a lot of these options: delete, overdub, re-record, export, or done. I'm just going to delete it, but overdub, you can record on the same track more stuff. So it's going to be destructive, because after that you can't take it out. It is not going to be a separate track. Now re-record, well, you erase that one, you take another shot. Export, you could just export that. So you can export just separate tracks if you want this, which is pretty surprising for this. I'm going to go delete right away. It's out. I'm going to try this again. I'm going to press 2. Is this ready? It is ready. 2. I'm going to record with 2. Let's say keep that one. Okay. If I go into output, I can say I want to have I'm going to take out the drum, the kick drum. I'm going to go here for the kick. And if I press here, I'm going to also get rid of the snare. I'm going to take that, and I'll take another track, and then that one's going to be, listen to that, I'm going to take that. Okay, stopping this. So on my second one, what I'll do, I'm going to add the comp filtering. I'm going to play with that. So again, I've got this one here. Mute it, unmute it. I mean, you can just play with that and create what you want. Now let's actually, for fun, because it is fun, I'm going to disconnect this from this whole thing, and I'm going to use the internal microphone. So I'm going to go stop, and I'm going to disconnect this. And I should go back to, hey, you hear it? Okay. We hear this. But this is a double sound because I hear it through this. And okay, let's just do that. I'm gonna go input, no reverb, no reverb. Okay. And I'm gonna do something very simple, and let's do some. Now, of course, you're probably going to do something better than this. Okay, so I'm going to, I've got a double voice. That's really cool. Let's go into this, and we're going to just, I'm going to reconnect that one so we don't have double anymore. And refresh. There you go. We should have something now. Refresh. There we go. Cool. Now, the question is, do you want to play on the screen while you loop, or you want to have your hands playing the instrument or the stuff you're playing with to create the rhythm? You have these little options here. When you go here, MIDI binding, you can actually bind controls to this. You can bind a MIDI message to stop, record, stop automatic loop, start playback, stop playback, record and record 1 bar, 2 bar, 4. So you could have a guitar pedal, a MIDI pedal board, and assign each of these notes to this, or you could assign, say not set, you could assign actually a note, and now it's not connected, but you could assign a note. So if you press on note 1, it triggers this, note 2 triggers this. So you could actually trigger all this, and you don't have to use a screen. So it is, for some people, it's exactly what they need, because they need to have their hands on the guitar or the drums, and they want to be able to trigger that. So all these controllers are there to be assigned to whatever you fit the most as a controller. So that's pretty awesome. There's also a Bluetooth, so you can actually connect to Bluetooth stuff. So you can import a loop if you want right into this. Of course, you have to match it. If you import a loop that is 100 BPM, your song has to be 100 BPM so it works correctly. And you have Ableton Link. You can sync it to Ableton Live. And there's also in this export section, when you export these tracks, going to export, it's going to create a zip file. I'm going to send it by AirDrop to, and that's it. We'll do it with this. I'm going to send it to my laptop, and we'll look at what the files are to see exactly what they offer. So if I look at the file itself, what do we see? It's a file called file demo. Okay. You get a master track, which is so what you have when you export all of this as a zip file. In your zip file, you have the master track, which is main out, and you get each track separate as a WAV file. So if any of these files you like, you put them back into another DAW, and then you make something out of it. It's just that simple and efficient. So that's pretty cool. So if you got something really cool recorded in it, you can actually take it out. Now it's a clean voice. So the only effects are those who were recorded using the input effects, because these are destructive. So the only one you have in the file that you get at the end are the destructive input effects. The other one are not there, they're playback only. So now, what's interesting about all this? For Loop 7, I have 1 copy to give away. AudioKit is nice enough, Matthew from AudioKit is nice enough to give me a code to give away. So one of you guys or girl will get this. It's very simple. You go in the link under in the description, and what you have is a link to fill up actions like follow the Facebook, go visit the Twitter account, or blah blah blah. If every action you do, and will give you 1 entry into the giveaway, and the giveaway will be on the 26th, day after Christmas. Okay, day after Christmas, that's when you're gonna receive this. And again, follow the YouTube channel closely, because there's going to be another giveaway this next week for another app for the iPad. So stay tuned and put the notification bell on. If you like these, go ahead, go into the link and buy some clothing from Nu-Trix or a coffee mug. I don't have one right now. I'm still waiting to receive it. That's it, guys. See you soon. Cheers.